Welcome, Valentina, and welcome to the Data Science Conference 2022. It is a pleasure to have you here. So you are the technical product owner of Trey autonomous mobile robot at Gideon. You were a senior machine learning research engineer at Rimac. You worked there on self-driving cars. You hold a PhD in computer vision and machine learning. So through all this, through all your experience, could you talk a bit more about your development path and what are your main interests within AI and computer vision?
Yeah, first of all, it's a great privilege to be here. So thank you for inviting me and for allowing me to share my work here. So maybe from the development path, I think that so far I've been an engineer. And so I've been working on a certain component of the system. And now as a product owner, I have the ability to really build the system, so autonomous forklift as a system between different components, so between navigation, between perception, also between machine learning, localization. It's really like building the system, and it's really interesting and a challenge. And also for my future developments on the front of AI and machine learning, I think that the problem of generalization is really important. So when you come to a new environment, a new warehouse, or anyway, a new parking, like if you're developing outside, you need to really quickly adapt and maintain the same level of accuracy as in environments that the models were previously developed. So this is one thing. Another thing that there has also been a lot of talk about that earlier in the keynotes and everything. So currently we're still building like models which require data sets with millions of images or something like that. I don't really think that this is the future. So for us to burn the GPU time and to melt the ice caps in the Antarctica, I think that we should really be able to develop and train our models on only a few images. So the few-shot learning is also really interesting to me. And of course, in the same light, the long-tail distribution problems.
Brilliant. You mentioned that you're now a product owner coming from an engineer. So could you give some advice for future engineers that want to perhaps take your route in AI computer vision?
Yeah. So for advice for the newcomers, I think that solid theoretical foundations in machine learning and linear algebra is something that is really required. And also, so when you think about it, I think the greatest way to become like a machine learning or deep learning AI practitioner is to get involved in open source projects. I think that this is like a really great place to learn new things and also to give something back to the community. So I think really great stuff.
Thank you. Going back a bit more on the technology side of things, so AI technology holds great potential to make traditional logistics more efficient and more humane, hopefully.
Yeah.
So how do you think we can make that happen, and how long do you think we can get there?
Yeah, I think that we're pretty much close to the goal. We at Gideon, so safety of the people, robots and people working together is like really the top priority. So it's not just the robots, it's really humans and robots working side by side, and robots like performing difficult tasks, which also pose hazard to human health. This is like the main goal and our mission. So I think that the main challenges really to solve here are these trade-offs between generalization, between the speed of execution, so you want the robots to be fast, and actually between safety. I think that the safety, really the margin of error is like really low here. So safety is the top priority here. So I think that the problems are coming from the long-tail distribution. So these are like, for instance, situations that do not appear often. Even in training data, they do not appear at all. And anyway, we also want our robots to perform in a responsible manner and to handle such situations like they were trained on them. So I think that in the short-term period of 5 years that we should be able to solve these problems.
That sounds quite interesting. And going a bit to your talk at the conference, you presented some challenges, techniques for tackling problems in autonomous mobile robots. So could you briefly elaborate on these challenges?
Yeah, I think that one thing is when you are like a researcher in the academia and you're publishing scientific papers, and also you might see like, oh, this is a cool paper and there's a demo and everything like that. It's a completely different thing when you really like deploy the robots in the wild, like in the real warehouses where the lighting in the warehouse can change. And I mean, the robots also need to work reliably when it's very dark. I think that all this stuff you don't see in like really public data sets, or if you participate in Kaggle challenges. I mean, there you get a data set which is curated, and the annotations are like really someone went to them and ensured that everything is okay. So I think that this deployment into real warehouses is like really challenging here. I would say that these were the major challenges.
And for as this is your first conference, what are your strongest takeaways so far, and what would you like to recommend to our future attendees?
So I think that the talks in the machine vision and robotics session were really interesting, and that the university here and the researchers are really performing top-notch research, and which is really cool, like in this part of Europe. And also yesterday there was a panel on continuous learning, which I think it was like really super interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for your insights, and I do hope you enjoy the conference and come back again. Thank you.
Welcome to the Data Science Conference. My name is Valentina Zadrija. I'm the technical product owner for the Trey autonomous forklift at Gideon, and let's change the world through data.